All right, now we're going to head out to Long Wharf in New Haven, where News 8's Kent Pier standing by live. That's also where many Italian immigrants stepped off the boat on that waterfront for the very first time. Right, Kent?
Yeah, that's right, Keith. And over the next couple of days, I'm going to be telling you about a couple of towns where most immigrants came from one specific place in Italy. It's different in New Haven. They came from all over Italy. But one thing the early immigrants had in common, the ones who came here 100 years ago or more, is that most of them stepped onto New Haven soil for the first time right here.
Everyone knows in New Haven you come to Wooster Street to find everything Italian. But where did those Italians come from?
You had people from Piedmont, which was the northern part. You had people from Lombardy. You had people from Sicily. You had, name the province, they were here.
Author Anthony Riccio literally wrote the book about Italian Americans in New Haven. He says the huge hardware maker Sargent actually sent recruiters over to Italy.
Actually combed the South and actually went out and recruited people to come here to work in the factory. As a matter of fact, there was a saying that they had, that the boat stops at Sargent's.
Sargent had its own pier in New Haven Harbor. Thousands stepped off the boat and onto that pier, among them the grandfather of New Haven Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro. Her grandparents also ran a pastry shop.
My grandfather would bake the pastry at night. My grandmother sold it during the day, and he worked at Sargent's.
Her mother was one of thousands of women who worked in sweatshops sewing clothes.
We tend to romanticize the immigrant experience in the United States, but people came with very little money. They were discriminated against.
In 1926, at St. Rose Church, Father Fitzmaurice got up at the pulpit and said, "You Italians don't belong here. If you want to attend Mass, you'll have to go into the basement."
But Italians kept coming and became the dominant ethnic group in New Haven, literally leaving their mark.
All Italians stonemasons.
Anthony works at Yale's Sterling Library. Italian workers built a lot of Yale buildings, and at Sterling, a 1999 renovation uncovered a signature hidden near the ceiling of the reading room. Francis Coiro was the name. He came from Italy in the 20s. Anthony knew he had a shop in New Haven where he made sets for big shows in New York.
And he was a master craftsman who not only did decorative work, but also did all the gold leafing work here at the library.
Coiro's shop is gone, but Ferraro's Market is still here.
Always been known for meats, going back to when Mr. Ferraro started the Mohawk Market back on State Street back in 1953, I think that was.
From there it moved to Grand Avenue. That's Mr. Ferraro himself at the grand opening, cutting not a ribbon, but a sausage. It's been 87 years since Discover Columbus Auto Body opened. It's now on its fourth generation as the DeLauro family business since Vin's grandfather came to New Haven.
He ended up working for G&O Manufacturing, which did radiators and so forth, so he learned that part of it, and he opened up a body shop along with a radiator business.
That was 1928. Since then, the business has grown, and now Vin is literally living his lifelong dream.
I have, in my class book in high school, I said, what's your future? I want to own my father's business.
He knew way back then, and now his daughter works for the business as well. She's poised to take over whenever Vin decides he's ready to retire. That shop flourishing just a mile or two away from the pier, this old Sargent's Pier, where so many of those immigrants arrived here more than a century ago. We're live in New Haven this noon. I'm Kent Pier. Keith, back to you.